you have to come up with something that is realistic for a person, because the most important goal when you're returning someone to exercise or when you're starting someone from scratch is you want them to be able to look back in 3 months and view this as a positive experience. Nothing else matters if that is not true. If in 3 months you've improved them by every objective metric and they hated it or they're injured, well, I just don't know how to view that as a success. People are going to be very different in terms of what their appetite for beginning is. But because we're focusing this discussion on people who aren't lifelong exercisers, and therefore by definition, they're either starting from scratch or maybe coming back to it after a long hiatus, you have to assume that their appetite for training is not going to be 7 days a week, 2 hours a day. And therefore, what I really want to focus on is the habit of doing something active daily. And not, that doesn't mean training every day, but it means at least walking or doing something active. So again, you're going to evaluate them based on their fitness level, their level of conditioning. And again, at the most extreme level, if it's a person who's never done anything and is completely deconditioned, it's really going to be about walking, and that's about it. And it could be as little as 5,000 steps per day, every day, on relatively flat ground. And of course, there's so many ways to progress this. If a person is a little bit more conditioned, I do like to put weight on them out of the gate, right? I'd like to have them do some rucking. And again, we're not talking about putting 60 pounds on their back. It could be 20 pounds on their back. Again, there's lots of other things to consider here. If a person is open to starting with some body weight exercises, that's a very helpful way to begin doing things. It doesn't have to be complicated, right? It could be, box squats, wall sits. Isometric things are much safer for individuals who haven't done conditioning in the past.